So today we finna make some lasagna soup. Well, I made it last night, so you heifers can make it tonight. That right there is a toasted English muffin. Well, actually I put them in the oven with some butter, garlic, salt, and some parsley on it. So good, way better than garlic bread. So first you're just gonna drop like a tablespoon of butter in your hot pot. And now we're gonna take the onions that we diced up and maybe caught a few fingers on and throw that in the pan. And we're just gonna cook those down until they are translucent. And if you want, you can add a little seasonings onto your onions. I like to add some garlic salt onto mine and then add the rest of the seasonings when I add my meat in, because I want everything to have the flavors, not just the onions. So here we are sprinkling our garlic salt. So we just gonna let them onions do their thing. Like I said, we're not trying to cook them down too much. We just want them to be translucent. You don't want them crispy at all. So yeah, just make sure you're stirring them around and they're not sticking to the bottom of that pot, because once that happens, we got to throw it all out and start it all over again. Don't act like you ain't never been there. But yeah, and also if you are trying to lose some weight, stay away from this dish, because you will be looking a little bloated after. It is carbs on top of carbs, but it's so good. This is like one of the best type of comfort foods. I like Caribbean food a lot as a comfort food, so that's why I said one of, but this is pretty up there. So make sure you cook those onions on down, and then we can get to the next step. Not me taking 3 days to finish this voiceover. But I don't know about y'all, but I used to not be grown enough for some onions and some peppers and tri-colored peppers, but now I just love a dish with some onions in it, and some peppers. It just adds so much flavor, and if you season them and saute them, oh, there is nothing better than a sexy caramelized onion inside or on top of your dish. So if you're not grown enough for some onions right now, I get it. Add some extra cheese and some seasonings. And you can also use like seasoned peppers. They have minced onion seasoning, so you can use that too to still give it the flavors if you don't want, a whole sliced onion. Also, I used to be pretty afraid to slice up my vegetables because I'd be afraid to cut my fingers. It's gonna happen. Just try not to chop that bitch off. But it is gonna happen. If you're trying to cut up your own veggies, you're gonna nip them fingers once or twice. But those are just battle wounds, baby, battle wounds. So now we finna dump in our shredded chicken, and then we're just gonna mix that on up and get all the juices mixed on together. Yeah, you can saute your own chicken or boil your own chicken and then shred it. But again, we didn't have time for all that. So I just shredded this. I think this was a baked barbecue quarter leg from Winn-Dixie, actually. And those be falling apart so easily. And no, you cannot taste the barbecue because the barbecue is just on the skin. So I don't know about you, but I ain't putting no chicken skin in any soup, pasta, any of that. So just take it off and you can't even tell the difference, and it is so juicy and it falls apart right off the bone. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. Y'all gonna hear me say that all the time. Sometimes I do cook my own chicken, but if the chicken isn't the star of the show, I mean, why the hell are we putting so much time into it? You feel me? So now we're gonna add about that much of tomato paste. And yes, you do need this. Don't skip this part. I used to not be grown enough for tomato paste either, but it's going to make your sauce. The tomato paste is the start of your stew, how you should say. So now we're just going to mix that on up. Make sure it's all in your chicken and onions as much as possible. It is pretty thick, so just do your best. Thick. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm retarded, y'all. I done had a Red Bull and an espresso coffee. I don't normally be drinking coffee. Y'all see, I can't even catch up with my words. I normally don't even be drinking coffee, but now that I started, I just cannot stop. If you have ever had a white mocha, let me get off the subject. Anyway, so this is the tomato sauce that I used. I got this from Winn-Dixie, I believe. You could pause the screen to look at it because I already forgot. That's not my normal. It's not my normal. Sorry, y'all. I'm in traffic right now. I shouldn't even be doing this voiceover. But yeah. So this is not my normal pasta sauce. I normally get this one called Prosecco or something like that. But this is what we're going with right now. If you know me, you know I gotta add some sugar up in there. Tomato sauce is just too zesty for me. I don't want no fucking heartburn. So add some sugar into your tomato sauce. It's definitely not gonna kill you, and everybody's gonna appreciate me for it. So you're welcome. And now we're finna add some sun-dried tomato pesto sauce. I live by this stuff, y'all. If you make spaghetti, spaghetti bolognese, lasagna, this lasagna soup, whatever, even if you make a homemade pizza, make sure you put that sun-dried tomato pesto sauce in there. It is life. It's so good. You don't even have to season it, and you won't hear me say that. I would say very often, but you're not ever gonna hear me say that unless it's the tomato dried pesto sauce. I'm tired of saying that, y'all. So make sure that you don't leave this spaghetti sauce too hot, because if you're not used to cooking spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce, that will pop the shit out of you worse than some hot grease. So don't let it get too hot. That was me pouring in some sugar, some salt, pepper, garlic, whatever you want to add in there, but that's what I added. And listen to me very, very closely, y'all. If you just put the cream cheese out when you first start making all this shit, it will blend in beautifully. But for some reason, I always forget this step, and I know it too well. So I am here to help you remember to put that damn cream cheese out beside the stove when you first start cooking this dish, because it takes forever to dissolve. I use cream cheese because it's creamier. It gives it, I don't know, like a softer taste to it, I would say, instead of salty cheese. So that's why I added cream cheese, if you're wondering. And also, I don't eat sour cream. I've seen a few people putting sour cream on top of it. So instead of putting sour cream on top, I put a little bit of cream cheese on top as well. Y'all, for some reason, it is taking me forever and a day to complete this voiceover. If you hear my bathwater running, please mind your business. I'm in hiding right now. If you're not a mother, you won't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so we're going to continue seasoning this. I added a little salt, sugar, parsley, oregano, onion powder, garlic powder, and black pepper to this. And then you're just going to continue to let it cook on up. And if you are on a diet, honey, this is not for you. This is granny wave and big back activities. So now we're just going to add a little bit of chicken broth, just enough to make it soupy looking. Sometimes when you add too much chicken broth, it'll just destroy all the texture that you have and ruin all the work that you put into anyway. So you still want it to have a thick, light texture. So just pour in what your little heart desires. As you've seen, I poured just a little bit over the tomato sauce. It wasn't drowning like liquid like. So now we're gonna add some parsley in for the color. As I said earlier, I was just letting y'all know what I put in, because I can't tell you the order that I went in. I'm gonna be honest. But we are probably 7 voiceovers in now for a 12-minute video. But now we're gonna add some provolone and mozzarella cheese inside of it as well. Add as much as you like. Don't be shy. And if you are a little Miss Overachiever and you shave and shred your own cheese, good for you. I don't. I go to Walmart or Publix, preferably Walmart, because it's cheaper in the great value section. So now we're just gonna mix that all up. and let it boil a little bit longer, that stuff does pop you, so beware. I was gonna make my pasta noodles separate, but it'll actually cook in your soup. So if you pour about that much into it, which this was almost a whole box, into your lasagna soup, and then set the timer for 10 minutes, they will cook just like cooking in water, just so you know, so you don't have to use another pot. Now, if you don't have a non-stickless pan, you needed to stir those noodles religiously throughout those 10 minutes, because they will stick to the bottom and you would have no soup left. But I luckily have a non-stickless pan for the first time in my life, and it is a blessing, y'all. So now we finna plate this on up to get into it. And I said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. Stop buying the frozen garlic toast. Just get some English muffins, cut them in half, set your oven to 350, put some butter slabs on it. You can get some margarine and just cut little slices of it, lay it on there. Throw some salt, garlic powder, and parsley on top, and that's all you need. And just leave it in there until the butter melts. This stuff was so good, y'all. I was having a hard time with my camera setup. I'm gonna get better with this as I go. I should get a ring light. I had one and then I tripped over it, y'all, and the cord actually broke from the plug-in. Like, how did that even happen? But if it'll happen to me. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoy this. This is a one-pot meal, unless you make the garlic bread, which I highly recommend that. And then you could just put it on your bread and make a sandwich with it. But yeah, and this is super good for the winter time to get all cozy. You got lunch for tomorrow. Still tastes good in the microwave. Yeah, y'all see me deprived of sleep. I've been sleeping over the stove, ready to get this damn voiceover over with. This is like too many voiceovers in. All right, y'all, bye.